Hello guys, welcome back to the Crew Waltron. Driving all cars part number 79. That's where we are. The Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT8, or as it's called in this game, SRT Cherokee. So it sort of comes with the SRT brand, I guess. What is in this thing? I'm not even sure. I know that at one point in Europe we had the SRT and that was a 5.7 V8. Is it still that same engine or did they move to the 6.4 V8? I have no idea. I think it's 5.7 V8 though. What does this thing have? It has 3 monster specs and including one of them 3 specs including one of them being the monster spec. And that is, well, that's not in this arena. But it is a pretty good one. For instance, for the East Coast arena, this thing works pretty good. It's kind of a heavy car. It comes with street and dirt specs as well. But there the weight is a bit of a problem. But these monster specs, well, apart from the abort maybe, but other than that, they are all kind of heavy and weight does not really matter that much in the monster specs. It might even help you a bit on the landings. And they are sometimes a bit tricky with this one, but smooth combinations, landing kind of okay, yeah, that's what you can get. The lift of the front tires, it's something that you will see if you have your monster spec full acceleration. And that is what I have with this one, if I'm not mistaken. Full speed works good as well, not a problem in arenas. But for a scramble test, sometimes it is better to put it full acceleration. And seeing, well, we are using monster specs and direct specs in skill tests for the summit qualifiers. If you want to have some top times or top scores, then you have to go for that, because the others are doing it as well. And that makes it, well, in some aspects a bit unfair, I think, for those who don't have the Wild Run edition. My personal opinion is that they should restrict the skill tests to a certain spec, which would make it way more interesting than it is now. Now people are doing scramble tests and raceline skill tests with monster specs, slaloms and some scrambles, and speed and stuff, like an escape test with drag cars, and yeah, well, that's not the idea, is it? But you have to, if you want to play around in the top 10, top 20 of summits and summit qualifiers. And so for acceleration, for scramble tests, we put them full acceleration. At least I do. And I have that with the Cherokee as well. Just like the Skyline and the Raptor. Those are sort of the 3 monster specs that I usually use in several events. Just in the Mountain States arena, well, the easiest to drive around there is the Abort. The Abort 500, but nevertheless, driving around in that monster spec there, that's probably going to be the best use for this car. Although you might come up with 1 or 2 surprises. Let's start, for instance, with this thing. The street spec. Street spec, 26, 27 seconds, something like that, with a few exceptions being 25. The bikes are 25 seconds, and also the Skyline and the Raptor are 25 second cars in street spec. But this one is kind of suffering a lot of weight, and but yeah, he has the power there. And that brings us the first surprise, 26.2. Well, at least it might be a surprise to some, maybe not to others, because this is actually not that bad. It is an SUV and it is heavy, that's all true. But it has the acceleration. 26.2 is half a second slower than a Skyline, but is faster than most of the other cars in street spec. To compare something with, let's have a look here, to give you an idea what I mean. It's not that bad. 26.1 for the Mini, 26.3 for the Mini Countryman, and this thing is in between with 26.2. In the next one of the next videos, I'm also testing the BRZ. Well, I can sort of tell you that right now. It also does 26.2, and that BRZ is considered one of the 3 best in street spec. This dirt spec, on the other hand, is a bit of a problem, I think. Let's have a look there. 26, 27, 28 seconds, but 27.555, that is kinda, that's average, isn't it? If you see that the Hummer here is doing 27.0. Kind of below average, the dirt spec acceleration. To 81. We were going towards 300 km an hour, so it does have top speed. At least in dirt spec, and I'm thinking on the street spec. I have been recording all videos meanwhile, so I have all 83 parts recorded in game, but as always I'm recording them again to using some other software, bringing down the file sizes a bit, and at the same time doing comments on it. But we will see on the video. Because I'm suddenly starting to doubt if I actually tested the street spec on our little test track that's there, but this has the top speed. It's well, the handling. It's a heavy SUV, so the handling is kind of okay if you take that in consideration, the weight and all that. But that means that you need some power coming out of the corners, and that's where you come into the problem with this car, being the acceleration with the dirt spec version. And that makes it a bit slow after every corner, and yeah, on the end of the road, if you do some sort of track with a bunch of corners, you're gonna lose on every corner, so in the end you will be behind somewhere. But top speed okay, and handling kinda okay. And meanwhile, people are still grinding just saw a drag car flying by there. Did they do it deliberately? I don't know, but things have changed in Summit and Summit qualifiers. For those who don't know, in the last two qualifiers and also in the running Summit, August 2016 Summit that is, the grinding events do not count for the ranking anymore. So no more free drive challenges, no more free drive stunts, and no more Summit PvP needed to get a ranking in the Summit and in the qualifiers. Unless they made that by some mistake or something that happened. I doubt it actually, because that's already 2 qualifiers ago we kinda established the situation, and it was the same the last qualifier, and it's also the same in this running Summit at the moment. I'm somewhere in the top 10 at the moment in the Summit, and I haven't done any of the free drive stuff. And the guy in 2nd and in 3rd and in 6th or something, they also haven't done any. I'm constantly spamming the boost or the nitro a bit here, and yeah, that's the problem with this thing. Acceleration makes it a bit slow and average, I guess. But for a heavy car it kinda handles more than okay, and it has a top speed. We're already doing 300 here. I have like half a nitro bar left, so probably will reach 310 or something. And even more. I just did 310 and I wasn't on the limiter yet. So top speed is a plus. The weight is probably the main factor for the acceleration, so I will put the weight up as a minus. But it is heavy, and then means you can also mess about with the cups or something. A police chase. This is definitely a car that you can use. Apparently I'm looking for the street spec, so that means I did test it. I was doubting that for a second here, because I did these videos a couple of days ago. I recorded them all, the remaining ones, because we are almost at the end of the series, or at least for now, till they bring new specs, and with the calling all unit they will also bring new cars. But of course I've tested all the cars at 12.99, so if they bring new cars I'm going to put them at 12.99 first, and then test them on these same tracks, so that you can sort of get an idea of the possibilities with the new cars. If I would immediately bring them up to 13.99, 14.99, 15.99, whatever the new cap is going to be, yeah, then we are going to get an unbalanced comparison, and that's not the idea. So Hurricane F12 Berlinetta will be tested at 12.99 first for this series, and then I will upgrade. And I'll probably come up with some 14.99 comparison. The expansion itself, yeah, it's gonna be about cops and chases and moving crates from one point to another, with daily crates being moved all over the map every day, so always have to look for them elsewhere, I guess. I'm not really into this cup thing, but I'll probably be more than likely busy. doing those missions, because you have to do those missions to unlock the full stock cars which will come, because there will come new full stock as well. For instance, an Aventador, you will not immediately get the police car. Nope, you get a full stock, and then you can sort of get your hands on the specific spec. For instance, the performance Aventador, which will be available as police. But you first have to unlock the full stock. And how do you do that? By doing the missions where you will win a part for your full stock, sort of to build it together, I guess. And if you put up 10 parts, then you will unlock the full stock, and then you can start buying the specs for the police cars. That's sort of how it works. Like the street editions, they also have their own full stock. Meanwhile, we're driving around in this thing. It is a bit heavy, but acceleration is not that bad, and I have been using this where do I use these things? For instance, in an PvP eliminator. Sort of the races where after a certain time the driver in last place kinda drops out, and then the next one, and so on, till you have like no more lives left, and you're the only one with 1, 2 or 3 lives left, and then you win. And if you are there with some kids and they try to ram you, this thing in street spec is not bad. It's a bit heavy to compare to a Skyline or a Mini or a BRZ, but it is top 10 in street spec for sure. We'll see you guys in the next one, and bye for now.